Council virtual meeting for Monday, November 9th,
This
2020.
meeting is being recorded.
If we could all say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge the allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Holly, for that. Barb, will you call the roll, please?
Roland.
Here.
Bizzard.
Here.
Bellinger.
Here.
Weiss.
Here.
Rhines.
Here.
Gilroy.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
All right, thank you, Barb. Now I'm looking for approval of the agenda for this evening, unless anybody has any changes that they would like to make.
Make a motion to approve the agenda, Weiss.
Thank you.
Second, Rhines.
Thank you. Barb, will you call the roll for the agenda, please?
Bizzard.
Yes.
Bellinger.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Rhines.
Yes.
Gilroy.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Roland.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Holly, have we had anybody join us for audience participation?
No, we have not.
All right, thank you very much. This would be a time for audience participation with a maximum of 5 minutes per the presentation, but we don't have anybody joining us, so I'll move right along to our council meeting minutes for October 26th. I'm looking for a motion to approve those unless somebody has any changes that need to be made.
So moved.
Thank you, John.
Second, Rhines.
Thank you, Dan. Barb, will you call the roll for the council meeting minutes for October 26th, please?
Bellinger.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Rhines.
Yes.
Gilroy.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Roland.
Yes.
Bizzard.
Yes.
All right, thank you. And now we have an opportunity to talk about accounts payable. Noah, you had the opportunity to review them, and great questions that you sent forward to Corey, which I think he was able to answer.
So yes, Corey, thank you for doing that. So after the review, I would like to make a motion to approve checks 73725 dated 10/23/2020 through check 73766 dated 10/30 and ACH checks 42 through 46 in a total of $320,580.29.
Thank you, Noah. Did anybody have any other questions?
For Corey?
I do.
Okay.
Okay. John, go ahead.
Mutt mitts, it says here, for $520.66. Is that for the parks and for the pickup of waste?
It's for the doggy bags.
That is.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not a pass through from any other funds or anything that comes from, because that's it. Then how long does that $520?
Oh, John, you mean like if it was coming out of Parks and Rec budget?
Yeah, something. I mean, that's a lot of money for plastic bags. And I'm just curious how often the refill is, on those.
Sure. So, are those dispersed through all parks, like Volunteer Park, McCormick Park, wherever we have those posts at, or is it just primarily McCormick Park? I guess would be my question too.
Yeah, I don't believe we have them at all the other parks. I know there's one, I think, right in front of City Hall as well.
Okay.
And so I am not positive how often that comes. Rachel's raising her hand. She may know.
Yep. Hey, Rachel.
Sorry, just trying to get unmuted. So DDA pays for half of that cost.
Okay.
Because they are used in the downtown. And then I think the only other location is at McCormick Park. So the parks budget pays for half. And we usually order those, John, I want to say 2 or 3 times a year.
Okay. That was one that jumped out at me here. And just a question. The other one is going to be the Beckham escrow inspection. That's a pass through, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And there was one other one, and I'm looking for it. It wasn't a big deal, but it was just one of those things that caught my eye. I think that's it. Maybe that was the one.
If it comes back to you, John,
Yeah, it's not.
bring it up.
I'm pretty sure the Beckham was the last one because I had my finger on it. So.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions regarding accounts payable? All right. I'm looking for support for Noah's motion.
Second, Weiss.
Thank you. Barb, will you call the roll, please?
Bellinger,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Bizzard,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
All right. Great. Thank you so much.
Madam Mayor, the
Yes.
other question I had was on the wastewater treatment plant digester, the GAD burner.
Oh, okay.
That's the second to last item on there. It says Swan Electric. And I also noticed that there was the one for the Tetra Tech for the wastewater treatment plant study. I just want to say I think we need to watch what we're spending there. And I know there's a plan coming through. They're doing the study, and there'll be more coming down the road after my term is done. So I hope that you guys all are aware of that. And that's going to be a big issue because, I mean, you just look at there's $4,000 expense and what all the other little expenses have been. And I know we're reaching end of life on some of this stuff too.
Yep. And I know that from my conversations recently with Corey, Scott is working on that. That's, a big project that he's trying to move forward. So, Corey, hopefully you can have Scott join us maybe to give us an update on where we're at with the master plan that he's working on.
Then I'm also keeping an eye on it as well.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, John. Appreciate that. All right, moving forward, then we're going to go to our action items. We have 2 items this evening. The first is the MERS adoption agreement addendums, and I'm going to go ahead and just turn this right over to Rachel.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Sorry in
Rachel.
advance for adding 50 pages to your council packet. So how MERS has operated from the beginning of our relationship with them is their definition for service credit, for example, is an employee or a member has to work 10 8-hour days in a month. So basically you need to work 80 hours in order to earn a month's worth of service credit. So that's great. That makes sense. But all of our labor contracts and our employee manual says employees who are considered part-time and temporary, do not earn fringe benefits, and retirement is a fringe benefit. And so under MERS's definition, technically, they would have thought we should have been including those temporary or part-time employees for contributions and earning of credit or eligibility for MERS enrollment. And this was not unique to Williamston. So what the MERS has come out with is the documents in front of you where we are given a lot of flexibility that we can actually take, and I have taken our union contracts and the employee manual and tailored what those documents say to make it reflective of what the MERS contracts are. So you'll notice in there, it talks about service credit. While we still have that 80 hours, we're not changing that. We can actually exclude those different classifications of employees. So that way it's very clear cut with MERS as to who's included and who is not included in our plans for eligibility. Also, we talked in there, it changes the leaves. So if we have an employee that has an unpaid leave, we've excluded them. If we have an employee on workers' comp, we've included them. And we've kind of walked through some different scenarios with our labor attorneys at Kostoker-Toski to have some guidance and assistance on that. And so what you have in front of you is what we are obligated for in our contracts. And so we just need you to have approval of these addendums so we can move forward with MERS.
Okay, I do see, I'm going to ask for questions in a minute, but I do see that we have 3 different approvals. You've got a request action, but you're looking to have 3 different items approved. So Tim, I just want to be clear, we're going to do 3 motions and 3 votes. Okay.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Tim. So who has questions for Rachel?
I have one question. I just want to make sure this, for the record, was looked over by the attorneys, and it does comply with the collective bargaining agreements that are out there.
And Rachel, I think you said you did confer with Kolstow-Kurtowski.
Yep. So Gordon Love assisted me on these.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions, concerns? Okay, then we have 3 items at the very top of that memo that Rachel has provided to us. So I'm looking for that first motion.
All right, I'll do them.
Thanks, Jeff.
First one, I'll make a motion to approve the defined benefit plan adoption agreement addendum for divisions 331000101, 331000102, and 3310011, and authorize Rachel Piner, City Treasurer, to execute the addendums.
Thank you, Jeff.
Second.
Thank you, John. If there's no further discussion, Barb, will you call the roll for the first motion?
Weiss,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bizzard,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
All right, thank you. And now moving on to the next.
Make a motion to approve the hybrid plan adoption agreement addendum for divisions 3310001HA and 3310001HB, and authorize Rachel Piner, City Treasurer, to execute the addendums.
Thank you.
Second again.
Thank you. Barb, will you call the roll for the second motion?
Roland,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bizzard,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes. All right, and moving on to the third.
The third, I'll make a motion to approve the defined contribution plan adoption agreement addendum for divisions 3310011060092, 3310011060094, and 33100110691, and authorize Rachel Piner, City Treasurer, to execute the addendums.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you very much. Barb, will you call the roll, please?
Smith,
Yes.
Bizzard,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
All right, great. Thank you so much. And thank you, Rachel, for working on that and getting it ready for us to move through this evening. I appreciate that.
Jeff, thanks for reading all those numbers off.
And doing it correctly. Nice. All right. The next and our last action item for this evening is the 2021 health insurance renewal. I will go ahead and turn this over to Corey, our city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Speaking of numbers, this has some more numbers and acronyms in the requested motion. So tonight we are asking for approval of the renewal of our HMO plan for city health insurance, which includes dental and vision. Just as a little bit of background, last year we switched from a PPO style plan to an HMO plan as our base offering to employees. And then we offered the opportunity for staff to stick with the PPO plan at their cost difference. And so the one change between last year and this year is that we are just recommending the HMO plan only. We did have one active employee and one retired employee stay with the PPO plan. And I think just looking at it holistically, to have two only participating, I felt like it was appropriate to consolidate to just the one moving forward. There is a small price increase of about 4.12%. And I think it's important that in any year, we will have some percentage increase, even if the market rates stay the same, because our health insurance rates are what are called community rated or market rated. And so we basically get a chart from our insurer that has a list of ages and a corresponding rate. And so as everybody gets a year older, they go into a higher bracket on the age chart. And so there's always some small increase. So that is a big component to our increase. The second piece was there was an overall market increase that was around 1%. But the total rates that we base this percentage on include dental and vision as well. And for whatever reason, those prices went down. And so a combination of that decrease with the market increase and the age increase leads to a total increase of 4%, or just about $10,000 a year. Now that $10,000 is split amongst 7 funds that pay employees and their benefits. And so spread across 7 funds, it's not an increase that I'm overly concerned about for at least 1 year. I think to be able to offer a bit of stability with keeping the HMO plan for a second year would certainly, I think, be appreciated by the staff after, last year's big change. And so we're asking for approval of that plan going into 2021.
Thank you, Corey. Does anybody have questions for Corey regarding this? Okay, I'm looking for a motion.
I make a motion to approve the renewal of the Blue Cross Care Network HSA HMO Gold 2000 plan with Blue Dental and Blue Vision for the 2021 calendar year.
Thank you, John.
Support Bellinger.
All right, thank you. We had 2 supports on that. Appreciate it. If there's no further discussion, I'll go ahead and ask Barb to call the roll.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bizzard,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
All right, thank you. That concludes our action items for this evening, short list. We do not have any discussion items on our agenda. We did not receive any correspondence to the city. So I'll move right along to our department head reports, and I will go right to Corey. Thank you for your report. I appreciate it. Quite a few bullet items on there. So I'll turn it right over to you. If there's anything you'd like to add or if anybody has any questions.
Just want to highlight one bullet point. So we are nearing the completion of our draft boardwalk replacement project, the pathway through Old Mill Park. And as part of our grant through MDOT, they want us to have an opportunity for the public to comment on the plans. And so we are hosting a Parks and Recreation Commission work session this Wednesday. Will be held via Zoom. The plan set is available on our website to look at. And so that will be one opportunity. And then they also are requesting a formal public hearing. And so we will hold that at the DDA meeting next Tuesday, which will also be via Zoom. And so there will be 2 opportunities for folks to comment. In particular, our Parks and Rec board, which has been helpful in some of our other master planning and parks projects. And the DDA hearing was advertised in the Enterprise, and so there was an opportunity for people to comment on the plans. I will note that because it's grant funded, there's not a lot of wiggle room in the design. We're basically doing a pathway, and so there's not a ton of extras. However, we are trying to take into account some of the bigger picture extras that could be at least located now on a plan for potential future funding and donations and items like that. So look forward to hearing from Parks and Rec and DDA and any members of the public as that project goes forward.
And what time will that be on Wednesday evening, Corey?
That is at 7 p.m.
All right. And the information is on the website, like you said.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions for Corey?
I do. Corey, is that log jam clearing still going on right now, or are they completed that?
Yeah, as of last week, they were still working on that, although much of the work that they were using our site for access, I think, had passed. Last I heard was last Wednesday, and they were nearing, the township city border, and even, I think, making their way toward the township park. That was an update I got last Wednesday. So there may be more current information, but that's what I have right now.
Okay, I was just curious with the upcoming winter season fastly approaching, trying to get some sort of restoration done, and if not, making sure they follow through in the spring with that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and as of that Wednesday update, we had not experienced much in the way of damage. I just talked with our wastewater treatment plant superintendent about that, but we haven't done like a final review yet.
Okay, do you know if they went upstream from there? I haven't been able to go look or anything. I thought we talked about they might, like up towards the dam or whatever.
Yeah, so they used our wastewater site to go east or upstream. I believe that's how they approached there's a really bad log jam by like the Barbell Club, Red Cedar Auto Sales.
Okay.
I know that was a big one, but then I think from there, most of the effort was west or downstream.
Okay. Thank you.
I can tell you, I got to watch the big equipment go through the river behind my house. I think there's probably still some logs on the north side of the river that maybe they might, I'm assuming they would have to come back and grab those with their equipment on that side, because it seems like there's still some that have the potential that could move and create, a future jam. So I'm hoping that they're going to do a float down the river to see what's maybe still some potential problem areas.
Gotcha.
John, I was pretty worried about what was going to end up having to be restored too, because they were accessing through the township park. I went out there after they'd come through, and they actually traversed probably over a mile of our trails, and I don't think I'm going to have to restore any of it. They used a mini excavator, and the ground's been hard enough that it actually didn't tear up a lot of stuff, because I was pretty worried about it with how far they were going to have to travel on our trails.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions for Corey regarding his city manager report? Okay. All right. Moving right along, department head reports. Chief, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Nothing to report.
All right. Thank you. We have a report from AGS. Corey, the only thing that I noticed was they've got 708 William Street listed twice, and it's an identical line item. So I don't know if that was a duplication error on their part. I did not, it's got the same permit number, and it's literally the same language. So I just would maybe ask AGS if that was an error. But, other than that, it looks like maybe things are starting to slow down with AGS. And will we see any type of reporting that comes out of Williamston in this similar fashion?
Yes. So this report reflects October, but you can see by the permit dates, they were permits that were issued but not paid until I think in October. And so, yes, we did check with Livingston County. They typically will send us a report at the first Friday of the month after the month. And so it's not going to be in your first council packet.
Okay.
Typically going forward, because we'll end up getting it the day after the packet's published.
Okay. All right. All right. That takes care of our department head reports. So we'll just keep moving right along. Does anybody want to share anything from a committee, subcommittee standpoint?
Mayor, can I have just a second to ask a question to Corey and Chief?
Yes. Yes.
I was just wondering if one of my contracts just received from additional funding from first responders through grants. Has there been anything that has come back to the city regarding police officers or that issue of funding coming back from the federal government to support first responders?
Yeah, I can handle that. So yes, we've had a couple of different pots of funding that I think we've updated, whether in city manager reports, and I think Rachel's report last meeting had a note on that too. But yeah, there's been a pass through for public safety payroll costs that were incurred during the first 2 months of the COVID pandemic that was passed through from the state, which they got from the federal government. And then there was a first responders hazard pay that came through.
That's what I got today. Yeah.
Yep, which allowed $1,000 for first responders. And there was a third one that I'm struggling. It was the repayment for the August revenue sharing that the state cut.
Okay.
And so they made us whole, but it was in this fiscal year as opposed to the last fiscal year, which is where the August statutory revenue sharing would typically go. While that is not specific to public safety, we have to prove that we use that money for a specific purpose.
Right.
One of those purposes is public safety payroll and related expenses. And so those 3 pots of money is what we've received to date, and it's largely reimbursement for expenses incurred.
So do you have a list item for the PPE and the additional things you had to buy for those departments to make them more safe?
Part of that August revenue sharing backfill, we've tracked every COVID-19 related item. And so that does include some supplies, but a lot of our PPE, like gloves and masks and face shields, we've actually gotten that from the Ingham County Emergency Management Center at no cost to the city.
Thank you for the update.
Any other questions? Okay, does anybody have anything that they would like to share from any of the boards that they're sitting on currently? Okay, moving right along. Holly, did we have anyone join us for late audience participation?
No, we did not.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to move around the board then for council member comments, and I will start up in my corner, Dan Rhines.
I just wanted to thank Holly and Barb and all of our election workers for last Tuesday and all the hard work they put in and what a good job they did. I think things went, from what I could tell, went very smoothly, and just thank them for all their hard work.
Thank you. Councilman Weiss.
I just echo what Dan said. They did a great job.
All right. Councilman Smith.
You know, I was stunned. I always vote first thing in the morning on my way to work, and I've never stood in a line before. And then I showed up last Tuesday, and I was like, holy cow, y'all had your work cut out for you. I was super impressed. It was just a well-oiled machine in there. So I'm super proud of you guys. You just did amazing.
Councilman Bizzard.
No comment.
All right. Councilman Rowland.
Yeah, was there a place that we could find the result for the senior center voting? I've really struggled to find the result there. It's never been listed on the local news or websites, or even if I Google it, I've not been able to find it, and that could be my bad, but do we know the result there?
I think Holly is off of mute and she's going to share that.
So, of course, we have our own totals, but we don't have the totals for the county yet because they haven't certified the election yet. So there isn't anything really posted officially. I can get you our totals, but that's as much as I have that I can get.
What was Williamston's total? Do you know that? I mean, not putting you on the spot.
I don't have it in front of me, but I can email it to everybody. I did type it all up today, so.
Yeah, it was weird this year. Like all the local news bottom lines, like a lot of the things you'd see, like these initiatives, like suddenly weren't there this year. So, yeah. That'd be cool to see if you have some info. I'd appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you. Nothing else.
All right. So I'm actually going to add 2 people to my comments right now. I'd like to hear from Holly and Barb. You guys, this was your Super Bowl. This is, every time you guys have an election, you guys work so hard up to it. And I'd really like to, echo everything that the council members have said, but, share your thoughts with us. This was huge this year for you. We had 2-hour waits from from what I could see while I was there, it ran so smoothly. And I just can't thank you both enough. So I just wanted to give you guys the ability to share your thoughts and feedback on it.
Well, obviously, we always learn something new every time we have an election, but I'm glad to hear that it did run really well because, we did our best, especially with COVID. It really it throws a huge wrench in everything. And so everything had to be kind of changed, and we have to keep our poll workers safe. We have to keep our voters safe. And I think that was a huge challenge for us this year, and spacing everybody out. But people were amazing. Almost everybody was okay with the wait. I think that says something about the community because you don't get that everywhere.
And just for our viewers and for us to know too, what time do you start in the morning and what time did you leave? Because I mean, that's incredible to me because
I got up at
it goes
4 a.m.
above and beyond.
I was up at 4 a.m. and got home about 1:30. So.
Okay. All right.
It's that's a long day.
Yep. Barb, anything you want to share?
Also they put in crazy hours, they're there all day. It's tiring, it's frustrating, and sometimes you just have to go in there and just coach them through and keep their spirits up and everything. And they did really well. We balanced first thing. We sent our last voter through at 9:15 p.m.
Wow.
But we balanced perfectly. So that's the thing, you get accuracy, and that's huge.
Yep. Barb, what do you got to say?
I would just agree that our residents were very, they were very nice when they came in to get an absent voter ballot or drop something off. I think Corey overheard it one time. They're just very, extremely thankful for being able to do that. And it was busy. It was busy. We had a poll watcher in the absent voter counting board, and the absent voter counting board has to be sequestered all day. So he was there all day, and he left at 8. Man, he was out of there. He's like, "You guys were great. It's everything they told us it would be," and that just makes you feel good. So Wednesday was kind of unreal. It was so quiet. So quiet.
Well, you guys did a phenomenal job. You really did. And I know that, the 7 of us sitting here that went in and anybody that, lives in the city, I saw no issues, yes, it was a long line, but it was a beautiful day. So, you can't beat that, out in the sunshine, getting a little vitamin D while you're waiting. But you guys ran it so smoothly, and I can't thank you guys enough. And Holly, thank you so much for sending me the emails that you did for all the volunteers, because while we see Barb and Holly here, they have that whole team, and those are people that volunteer, give up their their time away from a family to come and do that for our city. And I just can't thank you guys enough. It was great.
Hey, Tammy, do we
yes.
this job? Do we feel like there were any lessons learned though that maybe we might employ in the years forward? Due to the fact that, I know some people felt like it was okay to wait 2 hours, but I know a number of people that did not like that one bit.
Okay.
Is there a way that we're thinking that there's some lessons learned that we can employ going forward?
Holly, I'll throw that back to you, or maybe, when you get ready to give feedback or whatever, give us your report. I mean,
Yeah, I plan on doing a written report, so.
Yeah, my wife showed up 3 times, and a few friends also, and had to leave and then come back. So I don't think it was all just rose-colored glasses by any stretch of the imagination. I think there were a lot of disappointed people the way that it went, at least that I heard.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to your report, Holly. And of course, there's always room for continuous improvement. I think we see that in our daily, gig, and then, serving here too. So we look forward to that and everything.
Sorry,
yes, Dan, go
I
ahead.
have one more quick thing, and I don't know how much we can control this, but the parking behind the middle school, it got kind of wonky.
Yeah,
and
it did.
I don't know.
I
I
will
don't know
agree.
how. I don't know how if we can control that at all during the next election or not, or if it's something we just have to chalk off. But people actually started a third row of parking outside of where the lines are. So I had parked inside the parking lines, and there's about 4 other cars with me. And then somehow another row of cars got started outside of where normal parking is. So then the people in the middle could not leave because
Yeah.
they'd all been parked in.
Just
I
one more,
don't know
one
how
more
we
ballot
could-
scanner might have helped. Like one more scanner might have helped. Like we had one for a whole community. Yeah.
So I'll echo. I went 3 times, but it just had to do with my work schedule that day. Tried in the morning and then made the decision, nope, can't do it. So I just waited till the end of my day. But yeah, Holly, we definitely look forward to your feedback and, definitely working with the schools regarding, I saw somebody get blocked into, Dan. When we went to park the 3rd time we were there, and I'm like, I don't think this is a row. So yeah, there's some logistics that probably could improve on site if we were to ever have an election that big again. You guys did an amazing job getting the permanent absentee voters to come in. I look forward to seeing what that number is of who all registered. And so, yeah, we definitely look forward to your feedback. I don't have anything else for this evening, so I'm going to go ahead and call to adjourn our council meeting for this evening at 7:36. Thank you all so much.
Good night.
Have a good evening.